that change the title on the web page. So go to info and say Arabic class readings for live Q&A. I'm going to see the comments. Just going to tell me. Just tell me. Oh, I'll just check my phone. We'll do the same thing again. So. Go down. Go to yeah. So streaming, yeah. Yes. It's saved.
Yep. Where should I?
You should be able to see the chat there.
Oh, don't have to do anything else.
That's it. It's done.
You don't have to press like save.
No, or you think you can open another pages too. I don't know how you have to do that. Say URL. Is there a URL there? Should we go, if you go down?
Just open a new thing.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Go to. You gotta go to my channel. That's it. Just come straight away. Yeah, there it is. Should we make the page smaller? The screen.
Sorry?
Press that. No, that's it. Should go on the side now.
Oh.
Comments. Tell me what the sound is like. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Gee, guys, hope you guys are well. I'm just gonna do a live Q&A for you guys. This is a new setup. Brother Harun, mashallah, has set up a camera, so I thought I'd test. I'll see what this is like, see what this new camera setup is like. Because obviously you guys are my viewers, you guys are my followers, and I'm going to try to do the best for you guys. As usual, I always try to do the best for you guys. So let's just see the comments. So Ramadan is going well, alhamdulillah. We've got a few weeks left. I'm just looking at the comments, guys. Yeah, I'm just looking at the comments. I'm going to see what the comments are saying. Yeah, if there are any comments. If there's no comments, then chalo. Okay, so hope you guys are well. Ramadan is almost over, isn't it? And weather's starting to go a bit gloomy as well. I heard they're saying that the weather's going to be good in a few days. Tomorrow it might be very good. Sunday's going to be a bit hot. You know, we say hot in England, yeah. Over 20 degrees is hot, basically. So if you guys are from countries where on average it's in the late 20s and early 30s, yeah, you know, that's another level, that is. I think the lighting, that's okay. On my one it seems a bit dark. Yeah, lighting seems a bit dark here. So, come on guys. You can ask your questions today. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Saada Qasim, how are you? Are you good? Where are you from? Are you from the UK? Are you from Birmingham, where I'm from? Or are you from a better place? It can't be a better place than Birmingham. Please don't even put that in the comments. Yeah, that's just gonna break my heart. So we're just trying to sort out the lighting here. What do you guys think of this new setup? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's smooth, better than my, makeshift live streams with my phone? Yeah. So like I said, if you guys got any questions, put your questions here, inshallah. Allahu Akbar. From the Philippines working in Saudi Arabia. Allahu Akbar. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. So that means you're used to hot weather, yeah? Because I heard Philippines hot weather is very hot, humid. And Saudi, obviously Saudi. Yeah, everyone knows Saudi. Desert hot. So, alhamdulillah, marhaba, welcome people of the Philippines, inshallah, alhamdulillah. So, if you guys want to go to a nice place, I heard Philippines is very nice, yeah. And if you guys want us to all go to Philippines, Harun, what are you saying? We can go make a trip to the Philippines.
Let's go.
Yeah, I heard you guys got a very strict leader, sorts out all the drug dealers and all the gangsters. Bad lighting, they're saying bad lighting there. How come there's bad lighting?
Huh?
Why is there bad lighting? Cameras, what is that? Is there no other enhancing it? Ameen, Ameen. Ramadan's very close to finishing. So we make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He accepts our fasts and our ibadat and everything inshaAllah in this holy month. Yeah, and we don't know if we're going to be here for next Ramadan. That's the reality of it. Is the next Ramadan going to come? Is it not going to come? This is something only Allah knows. So we should make the most of this Ramadan, guys. Yeah. Tell me, what do you guys eat for iftar? What do you guys eat for suhoor? So today I've got a talk today. So after the talk I'm going to be having a iftar. Yesterday I had an iftar at the mosque. Today I got iftar at another mosque. So make dua that the iftar goes well as well, yeah, guys, because yeah, that's quite bright. Oh, I look like an angel. Yeah. Allah actually makes me look like proper pious. Noor on the face, guys. Look at this, guys. Looks like I've got some hardcore noor on my face. Yeah. So you can. It's gonna be dark now. Yeah. I look like all the noor is gone now. Yeah, that's right. Maybe I think it's do you think it's the light? Yeah, so at what time does it end? It ends at Fajr time. Yeah, the ayah in the Quran says Hatta matla' al-Fajr, when Fajr starts. Huh? It's good, yeah? Is someone just someone can ask this? Yes, right there. That's alright. Okay. So yeah, guys, tell me some more interesting things. And if you have any questions as well, yeah, some people asking questions about fasting. Some people asking questions about zakat. Some people asking questions about eating, drinking. Yeah, so I have broken my that diet I was on for not eating fried food. I had to break it, guys. I had to eat some pakoras. Yeah, so yesterday was the first time I ate pakora this month in Ramadan, yeah. So I don't know if you guys are used to eating pakoras in Ramadan, but yesterday I didn't get a chance to keep that because it was just too tasty and I had to eat it. So this is the month of Ramadan, guys, the month of Ramadan in which you're supposed to take care of your eating, but unfortunately sometimes this happens. Okay, so what else? What other questions do you guys have? How we can feel when the angels going down during prayer of Laylatul Qadr. So the Prophet ﷺ, he mentions about this night, and he mentions about certain signs in this night, a cool feeling, peaceful presence that you'll have. And angels are always around anyway. Yeah, the Prophet ﷺ, the Quran even mentions about the angels at the time of Fajr, and these are times in which a person feels very close to Allah Ta'ala as well. So Laylatul Qadr is a time in which a person will feel this. Now, there might be a person, unfortunately because of the sins that we commit, we might be in a situation, we might not even be able to feel the presence of the angels like other people can feel them. Sadly, that's something which can happen. So what we have to remember is, we just try our best to try and find this night. Even if we can't feel it, some people might say it just seems like another night in the year. That's fine. To them it might feel that way because their spiritual senses inside their heart are blocked, because of sins, because of being distant from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This can happen to us. So we don't want this to happen. So any other questions? Anyone from anywhere else? I need to know who you guys are. Yeah. The more I know about you guys, the more I can make dua for you guys, and the more you guys can make dua for me. That's how it works. It's a simple equation there. Yeah. So you guys tell me who you are. Tell me where you're from. I make dua for you. I tell you where I'm from. You make dua for me, and we get to know each other better. So alhamdulillah. Another question: is it allowed to read Quran while listening to it? Yeah, you mean you can read Quran while listening to the Quran. That's fine. However, I mean, it's a personal preference. Personal preference, I prefer to do one thing. Yeah, because when the Quran is being recited, I prefer to listen to it. And if I'm reading the Quran, I can't really focus on what the Quran is saying. And if I'm listening to the Quran, then I can't really focus on what I'm reciting. So because maybe I've got an advantage over many of you guys, I understand Arabic and I can understand a lot of what the Quran says. So therefore, it's like trying to listen to two people at the same time. It's very, very distracting. So yeah, you can do that, but I would personally, if you ask me, I would say just read Quran. Yeah, just read Quran, and if you want to listen to Quran, you stop reading the Quran and you listen to the Quran. Try not to do both things, because Quran is something that we want to gain the barakah, the blessings of the Quran. And we should try to learn the Quran as well, learn the meanings of the Quran. And when you learn the meanings of the Quran, you're listening, because this is the words of Almighty Allah, the Creator, the Khaliq, the Malik, the Magnificent Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, if there's someone who's very important and they're speaking, everyone wants to listen to what they're saying. Yeah, they pay attention to what they say. So, these kind of adabs, etiquettes, respect, these are things that we should show to others as well. However, different communities would have different understanding of etiquette and adab as well. Right? So there might be, certain communities who see certain things in Islam. Like you get some people who will cover the Quran with a cloth, right? Out of respect, they do it. And there's some people you might see who might kiss the Quran out of respect. So people have different practices in their community to show what respect is. Is bleaching one's eyebrows permissible in Islam? Yeah. So you mean, do you mean for women, as in they want to shape their eyebrows? Is that the question you're asking? I mean, the thing to remember about beautification is, as long as it's not explicitly prohibited in the Quran or in the Hadith, right? That's one. And number two is, as long as it's not something to deliberately sort of attract other people. Yeah, so if it's something to deliberately attract other people, so a person wears certain type of shoes that make noise to attract, like a kind of like sexual attraction, that kind of attraction we mean, or wears certain tight clothing or certain color clothing, right? These kind of things, a person, if he's going to do that, that's wrong days. Yeah, so it shouldn't be that. Besides that, it's okay. So this is why if it's for bleaching the eyebrows, if it's just for, let's say for example, someone has bushy eyebrows and they're just like, you got like eyebrows like me, yeah, big proper bushy thick eyebrows. If it's something like that, they want to just mellow it down a bit, yeah, it's okay, nothing wrong with that. But if it's done deliberately to kind of attract other people, to make other people be more sexually attracted towards them, then that's wrong days. So remember, we have to, in Islam, we have to have pure intentions as well. Our intentions to be pure for everything. What we eat, our prayers, even going outside, our intentions should be pure. So may Allah purify our intentions. And a lot of people, unfortunately, sometimes what happens is intention becomes impure because of pressures from other people as well. Yeah, our own desires and the pressure from other people. So, sadly, sometimes intention does become a bit messed up. But alhamdulillah. Any other questions? Keep your questions coming, guys. Yeah, you can ask your questions, inshallah. So, like I said, like the Q&A, I think, is something which is important for a lot of us. Whether I give a Q&A, whether someone else gives a Q&A, all of us need some access to someone who we can ask questions to. And sadly, sometimes we ask the wrong people questions, or we tend to go to the wrong places to ask questions, and we get confused, we get misleading answers or conflating answers. So we should try to go to the right places. When you fasting and sleep and you realize sperms while sleeping, are you allowed to go on with fasting? Yeah, your fast is valid. When it comes to these kind of issues, breaking fast, if a person has sexual intercourse or masturbates and ejaculates that way, that fast breaks, right? But if a person ejaculates without masturbation, without their own interference with their body, it was due to sleeping, or just suddenly just happened without a person touching any parts of their body, then the fast doesn't break, right? So this is why a lot of people ask this question: can they be in the state of impurity whilst fasting? I mean, your fast will be accepted, but obviously you got to pray Fajr, and you got to pray Dhuhr, and you got to pray Asr and Maghrib. So therefore, if a person is not in a clean state, then that is actually going to be a problem for them praying Salat, not the fast. Yeah, and a lot of women ask this question as well about menstruation. So for example, their menstruation has stopped at night time, and they didn't take a bath in the morning. So they're in that menstrual state, as in that state of that they need a ghusl, a bath. So yeah, the fast will be fine. But obviously, if they're going to be missing their salats, that's another problem there is. So these are kind of common questions, and these are questions which are maybe sensitive. Some people feel embarrassed asking these kind of questions. But our deen is a religion of truth, of searching for the truth, of not letting anything come in the way of this. And the Prophet ﷺ, he used to praise the people who used to come and ask their questions. And Aisha radiallahu anha used to say that the women of Medina have a quality in them, which is nothing stops them from asking the truth, not even shyness. So sometimes even men or even women might be in a situation where they're scared to ask a scholar a question, or they're scared to ask someone a question because they think the scholar is going to judge them, right? Obviously that's wrong as well. Yeah, nothing should stop us. We should ask our questions, and we should. But the thing is, we need to be have modesty in asking questions as well, sometimes. So alhamdulillah, these kind of questions, I don't mind answering these kind of questions. So anything else? I'll just let it play for a few more minutes. Then, inshallah, we'll switch it off. So this is just a test run, a live Q&A test run. I'm just checking how it fares with the normal, phone live stream I do. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think this is better, or is that one better? You tell me. So because I'm doing it for you guys. You guys are the audience. So I take whatever you guys say, I listen to it, I take it on board, I think about it, and sometimes I might implement it as well. Okay. Do you need to pay for a missed rakat in Taraweeh Salat, like you just joined the Jama'ah and it was second rakat standing? Do you need to pay for the first one before continuing with them? Okay. So good question this is. If you come late to any Salat, whether it is Taraweeh, whether it is the 5 Salats or Jum'ah or Eid or whatever, if you come late to a Salat and the Imam has read 1 rakat, so he's done 1 rakat and he's in the 2nd rakat, or he's in the 3rd rakat, or in the 4th rakat, what do you do? So what you do is you join the rakat, right? You join the Salat, wherever the Imam is, join him, and then when the Imam gives salam, Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah, then you get up, and the number of rakats that you've missed, you pray them on your own. Yeah, so this is a lot of, like, for example, a lot of women, they get confused at this because generally women don't pray with Jama'ah. So a lot of women, they might come late to a Salah, they don't know what to do. So in the time of the Sahaba, initially what they used to do was, if they came late to a Salat, they used to pray the few they missed before and then join the Salat. And then there was a Sahabi, his name was Mu'adh radiallahu anhu, and what he done was, he came to the Salat and he joined the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then after the salam, he got up and he made up the missing rakats. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam praised him for that. He said, "You done very good." So that's how we do things. So if you come late to a Salat, join the salat wherever the imam is, 1 rakat, 2 rakat, wherever, and then at the end, when imam gives salam, you get up and you make up those rakats. Does that make sense? Salimatu, does that make sense? I hope I'm saying your name right, guys. Yeah, I'm fasting as well, so first of all, I'm very bad with pronouncing people's names, and secondly, I'm fasting as well, so my tongue is a bit tired. So with a person being in a state of impurity because of a wet dream, their fast is valid, but what do they do for their salat? Does it need repeating? Okay, so I don't understand this question. So with a person being in a state of impurity, yeah, if a person was in a state of impurity, let's say for example, a person woke up in the morning and they have had a wet dream, all right? Or maybe before they went to sleep, they ejaculated, through whatever means, halal means or otherwise, and now they're in a state, so their fast has started, and they want to pray Fajr. So what do? So they have to pray their Fajr in the state of purity. So if they have prayed their Fajr in that state, without purity, then they've got to repeat that salat again. Yeah, so you got to pray your salat, like in the Quran, Allah says that when you stand up for salat, you have to purify yourself. So you got to be clean. Yeah, you clean yourself. So if a person their body is not clean, the salat won't be accepted. So any other questions for me? And by the way, I'm just looking down, just looking at your questions, see what you guys have written. Remember, if you've got any questions, leave your questions in the comments, inshallah, and I'm going to try to answer them as best I can. I don't know the answer to everything, that's the truth. I don't know so many things in Islam I don't know the answer to. I have to look it up. So when I don't know the answer to something, or a question, I go and research things. And if I can't research it, if I get tired of researching it, I'll go and ask someone who knows more than me. I ask them, they tell me the answer, they tell me where to look, and I find the answer. So this is why sometimes when some people, some people might ask me a question about, like recently someone asked a question about, what was it, on my Curious Cat. It was something called 40 Red. It's an ingredient. I didn't even know what 40 Red was until I had to research it, and then I found out that it's an ingredient that's put in food, and it's derived, it's synthetically made. It's not derived from any animals or insects. So I learned something new as well, and this is something which shocked me as well. That there are certain ingredients out there that people think are haram, but they're not haram. So you got to be careful. Sometimes someone sends you that like whole list of this chocolate's haram and this is haram and don't eat this and don't eat that ice cream. And have they really done their research? Have they really found it out, or they're just passing on things and without even verifying it? You don't want to make people's lives difficult as well, guys. Yeah, you want to make life difficult. Sometimes our lives become difficult because there's certain people out there who have misunderstood something. Yeah, misunderstood a question, got the wrong answer, and it makes life difficult. So don't make life difficult, guys. That's what I say. All right, next question. Was there any black Sahaba in Islam? Yes, many black Sahaba radiallahu anhum in Islam. Bilal radiallahu anhu was a famous black Sahabi. There was also Al-Wahshi, he was a famous black Sahabi as well. I mean, the color black, Arabs used to love the black color. Black color was considered to be something that was considered beauty. Before the time of Islam, Arabs used to like black. Then what happened was racism actually started to come from, they say, from foreign lands. Foreign lands used to bring this idea in, right? And it was not the black color that people were racist about, it was about race, basically. So they used to like black color because it was considered to be beauty, like black in the eye was considered beautiful, and also other things as well. So it was more to do with the race, the problem that the Arabs had. So this is why when Islam came, Islam laid down rules to eradicate racism. That racism is not allowed. You can't be racist towards other people. So yeah, there were Sahaba radiallahu anhum who were of that color. Okay, next question. One cannot do the gargling of the mouth and rinsing of the nose and the ghusl because they're in a state of impurity while fasting. So once they break their fast, must they do their full ghusl? No, they don't have to. Right? Because look, Allah, He only, remember this, Allah only sends down rulings on you. Allah only commands you to do things according to your ability. So if you're fasting, your ability is to do what you can do without breaking your fast. So this is why we don't gargle, we don't put water up our nose all the way to the top, right? And we don't even have to do it afterwards as well. No need for it. Yeah. So there's like, you know, certain things that we hear and you know, that be passed around like Chinese whispers. We need to verify them as well. Like I'll give you one example. Someone said if on the radio you hear, or on the CD or on YouTube you hear the Quran being recited, and there's a sajda tilawa in there, should you do the sajda tilawa or not? So sajda tilawa is there's like 14 places in the Quran, and it's written in the margin, sajda, that when you reach these places you got to go down and do sajda, right? So what if you heard it on the radio? Do you have to do it then? So no, you don't have to do it. Yeah, because it's not really the real voice. Yeah, it's a recording. So based on recordings or anything that's non-human, not live. So sometimes people get confused with that, and they don't understand how it works. They don't understand that, they think that if it's being recited, you got to do sajda. But that's not the case. It's actually, if you're being recited by a human who's doing it live, that's the proper definition for it. Okay. Repeating any salah they did, or do they not do the salah at all while in the state? No, so if a person has done the ghusl, right, and they're in the state of, they're fasting, and they don't have to gargle, they don't have to wash their nose, they just put water in their mouth, switch it around in their nose, then khalas, salat's all accepted, inshallah. Yeah, that's fine. Allah, you guys are a bit quiet today, man. Quiet people, eh? You guys fasting as well, so maybe you guys are fasting, so you're tired of asking questions. If a person dies in Ramadan, will he be saved from the punishment of the grave? Good question this is. If a person dies in Ramadan, like many people we've seen recently passed away, are they saved from the punishment of the grave? So in the narrations, it's mentioned about virtues about a person dying in different states, right? And in the narration, the Prophet ﷺ mentions about people dying in in the battlefield, or people dying in drowning, and people dying on various occasions. And Ramadan is hoped. It's hoped that a person will be saved from the adhab of the qabr. We can't guarantee 100%, but we hope this. Yeah, likewise, even if a person was to die on the battlefield, we hope that person is going to be saved. So, because we don't know the unseen, we don't know it, we believe what has been said to us by the Prophet ﷺ, but that which is happening in the unseen, and the Prophet ﷺ hasn't said it, or Allah hasn't said it. So let's say there's a guy called Zayd, and Zayd dies now. We can't say about Zayd whether he's been forgiven, or whether he's going Jannah, or whether he's going to be saved from the punishment of the grave. We can't say that, because Allah hasn't told us about Zayd, and the Prophet ﷺ hasn't told us about Zayd. They've told us like general rules. So based on those rules, yes, we'll say Zayd is going to be saved from the azab of the qabr. However, we can't 100% say it for Zayd's case. Right? So this is, sometimes when people make slogans and they say things like, oh, so-and-so passed away, this political leader passed away, they're shaheed. They were murdered, they're shaheed. The word shaheed, we can't guarantee that this person is shaheed. We say we hope he's a shaheed. Yeah? And I like some scholars, they say this, inshallah huwa shaheed. Like, inshallah, this person is shaheed. In other words, even the word inshallah we use, because we can't really 100% guarantee anything. Only Allah Ta'ala, He guarantees. And we don't know what Allah has said about this person. We know what He said about Islam and the rules in Islam, but this particular individual, we can't say. So we have hope. Yeah, we should have hope, inshallah. And the Prophet ﷺ has mentioned so many people who die, and they'll die in a state of shahada, right? It's like about 59. I've found there's about 59 different types of people. Yeah, someone who dies of a stomach ailment, someone who dies of a sudden death, someone a wall collapses on them, someone who dies in an accident, someone who drowns, someone who's burnt in fire. So many people the Prophet ﷺ mentioned. He said to the Sahaba, all these people are shaheed. Yeah, so the status of shahada, obviously the highest is when you're in the battlefield and you die. But there's also other states of shahada as well. Okay, I hope that answers your question, Zinat. If one does not go for Jum'ah Salah is she supposed to wait for the people to return before she prays Dhuhr, or should she pray as soon as the adhan is called, even though the Jummah Salah has not begun? Good question. So if there's a lady or anyone and they can't go for Jummah for whatever reason, what do? So they do as they would normally do on any other day. As soon as Zuhr's time starts, they pray their Salat. Yeah, they pray their Zuhr. That's it. They don't have to wait for the Imam to pray and then they pray after. No. Sooner. So let's say in England, let's say the Zuhr time starts at 1 o'clock. So even though the Imam might pray the Salat at 1:30, you can pray the Zuhr at 1 o'clock. Right? I hope that answers the question. Yeah. So a lot of people get confused about these kind of rulings as well, and it's understandable. I understand this. Yeah. Sometimes someone might hear something. A lot of people, like recently, I've got a lot of questions on zakat. So a lot of people, they ask questions. They say things like, "Oh, I heard you don't have to give zakat if you're not working." Right, so you only give zakat if you're working, if you've got a job. Well, it's not true. Zakat is not based upon whether you have a job or not. Zakat is based upon your earnings, how much you have in your savings, in your account, your cash, etc. So this is why, that's basically what it's. Many thanks. May Allah bless you. May Allah bless you as well. Uzal Productions. I don't know your real name, bro. So Uzal Productions, may Allah bless you as well. If you guys do have questions, let me know your questions. Harun, I think it's going so far so well. Is the sound okay, guys? Let me know in the comments what you think about the sound. Is the sound working well? That's the thing we're trying to, been working on for the past hour or so. We're trying to fix the sound. Sounds good, yeah? Okay, so alhamdulillah, sounds good. Alhamdulillah. They're saying the sound is super. Allah. Brother Daniel, you made my day, bro. Okay, you got another question here. Jazakallah khair. You got another question. So, Brother Daniel's a question. Shaykh, is it permissible to sell a smaller mosque to buy a bigger mosque? The ruling of a mosque is once a place has been decided to be a mosque, it becomes what we know as waqf now. In other words, it's like unchangeable now. Until the Day of Judgment, you cannot change this plot of land. So, therefore, if a place has been dedicated as a particular mosque, you can't change it. Unless it's like extreme conditions and you got to speak to scholars and then the scholars will decide. But generally, a lot of places, they're not mosques. Right? They'll be called a mosque, but they haven't been designated as a mosque. So the committee of the people who are in charge of that building, they'll decide. Right? This is why sometimes you go into a mosque and inside that mosque, certain areas won't be classified as mosque. Like you can't have a toilet in a mosque, right? But you can have it in the building, the mosque building, you can have it there, but you can't have it inside the mosque area, what we call the masjid area. So the masjid area is just the area where they usually pray. Some people, what they do, they'll section off a certain part of the mosque, like the first few safs, or a certain area in the mosque. They say, this is the mosque area, anything outside of this is just a hall. Right? So if it's not a mosque, if it's what we call a musalla, then you can sell it. But otherwise, masjid, you wouldn't be able to sell it. What I would do is, those people who are concerned about a particular project or a case, they need to get some scholars involved, speak to them, and they'll be able to give an answer. Okay, what age does a person have to start paying zakat? So a person has to start paying zakat once they reach the age of puberty, 1 year after that. So let's say, for example, a person reaches the age of puberty at 12. So that means at the age of 13, if they have enough wealth, they got to start giving zakat. And a lot of people, didn't know this. That there's a person who, let's say, their parents gave them lots of money when they were kids. They got gold maybe, and they've got loads of cash from Eid or whatever. And then what happens is they get they grow up and they think they only have to give zakat when they're 18. So if they had the amount of money when they were, let's say, 12, when they reached puberty, right? And then they had over the threshold at the age of 13, right, 12 months, they got to give zakat. That's how it works. Yeah. So we've got to be careful about zakat, because zakat is an obligation, like salat is. It's an obligation. Zakat is an obligation. You got to give it. That's how it works. Does that answer your question? Yeah, I hope it answers the question. If it doesn't, let me know. Inshallah, I'll try to clarify it more. Right, next. The sound is super, mashallah, jazakallah khair. Is there an Islamic way of getting rid of social anxiety? Whenever I am asked for an opinion, my mind goes blank, especially when I need to defend myself. I think subconsciously I fear embarrassment. Okay, so Legendary JX, I like your name. You got a very nice name. Yeah, you are a legend, bro. So Legendary JX, social anxiety, and with social anxiety, depression, or even anxiety on its own, all these different problems that people have. These are real problems. These are people go through these. For some people, they may just kind of say, "Why don't you just stop thinking about it? Why don't you just think about something else? Read Quran, do dhikr." So they think they have the solutions for these problems, but they don't have the solutions in most cases, and it just makes the other person feel like rubbish. So we don't want to do that. I used to think like this as well. Sometimes some people have anxiety, and I just say, look, just change what you're thinking about. Just change your environment. Do this, do that. But I didn't realize that I wasn't qualified to speak about these things. Yeah, like you mentioned that lack of knowledge. Yeah, there's a big lack of knowledge in our community, ignorance. Whether it's with scholars or with non-scholars, anyone regarding these kind of mental issues that people have. We have to address them. We need to know how to tackle these things. The biggest thing that I find is to help people who are in this situation is just to listen to people. People who have social anxiety, just listen to them. Be more aware of their problem. Make them feel as though there are people that know that they have this problem. That's the best thing that you can do for these people for now. If you're not qualified, if you're qualified, then obviously they give certain steps how you can overcome these. Someone was telling me recently that what they do for them is they make them like write down the things that they're scared about, because it's a lot of fear they have in their mind of what are people going to think if I do this, what are people going to say if I do this. So it builds up on people. So may Allah cure anyone who is suffering from social anxieties and depression and these problems. Okay, next. Trimming hairstyles, does that make your salat incorrect? Bro, as long as you're not trimming your hair inside salat, yeah, please. I know people are starting some new hairstyle fashions. Yeah, have you seen these kind of new hairdressers that they got? You can do like some strange things in there. They cut your hair with fire and with a samurai sword. And one guy had a chainsaw. He was cutting someone's hair with a chainsaw. Imagine that. So obviously, I don't think that's what you mean. If you have a hairstyle, the hairstyle will not affect your salat in any way at all, right? Nothing at all will affect. No hairstyle or clothing or anything like that will affect your salat. What you have to remember is the things that will affect your salat are what you do in your salat, the actions you do in your salat, right? So breaking salat is to do with inside the salat, not to do with outside the salat. Okay, next. How much money do you have to have in your savings in order to start paying zakat? All right, so this is a good question. Currently, if you have £243 in your account, right, you got to give zakat. Yeah, £243 or more. So you got to work out what you can do. I'll tell you what you can do. National Zakat Foundation, I work with them in Ramadan. So I help them out with the other calls and workshops and talks I give. You can phone them. The number is 03333 123 123. 03333 123 123. Yeah, this is their number. You can phone it in the daytime. I might answer the call. Who knows? You couldn't be speaking to me. Yeah, if I'm lucky. Yeah, if you're lucky, who knows? So you can phone that number 03333 123 123, and it's basically kind of free, just local charge. If you've got a phone contract, then it's free. Just phone them. You can ask your questions there. They've also got a website called misszakat.com. So if you go on that website, misszakat.com, and they give you like a booklet of how to work out your past zakat if you missed it. So check that out, inshallah. If you don't know that, come back to me, inshallah. I'll try to help you. Okay, what response should we give a person that criticize the marriage of our Prophet to our mother Aisha radiallahu anha? Okay, this is a good question. People say that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he married Aisha radiallahu anha when she was 6 years old, and then he consummated the marriage when he was 9 years old. See, the whole of this argument, no one had any issue with this for, let's say, 1,400 years. No one had an issue with it, to my knowledge, right? The non-Muslims who were so bent on trying to find faults in the Prophet ﷺ's life, right? They tried to point out so many things. They didn't even point this out. That's the strangest thing. So what we say is this, look, is that there is nothing wrong in a society where this was a norm for people to marry at this age. There was nothing wrong with it. It was considered to be a social norm, and in them days it was fine, and alhamdulillah, we accept it. The people who have a problem with this, right, they only have a problem is because now the norms are starting to change in our society. Now people are starting to, outline or, come out with some new sort of way that we should live our life. And now they're comparing the entire history of mankind with their way of life, which is not fair. Who says this way of life is the best way? 100 years, 200 years time, they might look back at this and say, in 2018, people were like this, and they'll just, so it's pointless trying to argue a debate based upon people's understanding of norms. So, alhamdulillah, majority of scholars are upon this. I believe this as well. The Prophet ﷺ married, and the marriage was, nothing was wrong with it, no one criticizes it, and alhamdulillah. Okay, Sam, how do you pay? And if you want to read, if you want to listen to more about this, go to YouTube and type in Jonathan Brown and the Age of Aisha. Jonathan Brown, the Age of Aisha. And you listen to some of his talks, very, very good talks. He goes into detail as well, and he explains it from an academic point of view as well. All right. Next. Salam, how do you pay zakat in Ramadan? So how do you pay zakat? You need to be a bit more clear about that. Are you asking who do you give your zakat to? Or are you asking how to calculate your zakat? Or are you asking which types of wealth do you need to have before zakat becomes necessary on you? If you can clarify that, inshallah. Okay, if you have money saved in a bank for a year or so, do you have to pay zakat from it even if it's not that much? You find out how much it is. If it's more than the nisab, the threshold of zakat. In England, the threshold for zakat at the moment is £243. So you got more than £243 in the bank, give zakat on it. Now think about it, the zakat is only going to be a small amount, 2.5%, that's all. So if you got let's say in your bank you got £500, you're only going to be given 12.5 pounds, that's all. 12.5 pounds of zakat you're going to be giving on £500. Okay. Are you sinful for not being able to forgive someone who hurt you if they say sorry? No, you won't be sinful. Yeah. If someone has hurt you, you have full right to hold them accountable on the Day of Judgment. That's your right, that is. Yeah, this is something which, However, obviously Islam encourages people to do something more than their right. In other words, Islam encourages people to show the better of the two people, give the upper hand. So this is why in the Quran time and time again Allah encourages people to forgive others. Forgive and forget, let them go, let them. Because emotions take over us, and for whatever reason, if you forgive, like the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned, a person who forgives, then Allah will build for that person a palace in Jannah. And Allah deals with us how we deal with other people. Yeah, so you have the full right to hold grudge against someone because they done something to you, harmed you on the Day of Judgment. You can get them for that, that's fine. But then there's other virtues as well. And the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned about a Sahabi. This Sahabi, the Prophet ﷺ, he said he's going Jannah. So another Sahabi wanted to know about this guy. Why is he going Jannah for? So he said, I followed him around for a few days, and then I asked him, listen, the Prophet ﷺ has said to you, about you, that you're going Jannah. I want to know why. He was shocked. So he said, I don't know. So then he said, the only thing I know that I do before I go to sleep is I don't understand anything bad to me. I just forgive them from the depths of my heart. So he said, that's what's giving you this high status. So, it's a very hard thing to do. It is, right? And you don't feel forced into doing it. It's totally up to you. You're welcome. Does your hair have to be all one length for both men and women? No, your hair does not have to be all one length, right? It can be different lengths. The thing to remember about these haircuts and things is this. Look, like I told you before, if the haircut is something explicitly wrong in Islam, explicitly in narrations or in the Quran, there's nothing like that. There is a narration about the qaz'ah, but that's talking about a specific type of haircut that was in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. And number two, if it's something to deliberately cause attention to people, yeah. And sometimes funky haircuts some people have, like a patch of hair here and here. It doesn't look nice, right? This is something like crazy, like a like a green thing here and this kind of crazy thing here. What's this guy done? Has he gone Rosa got him or something? Yeah, he's cutting the fruits at home. And all of a sudden, yeah, he just thought that he might do two things at once. So you don't want that as well. Okay. Okay, so this is a question for women. I don't know, what's the question? For women? So if you can be more clear about what do you mean by form, I can't seem to find your question above. If you can just clarify that what you mean by 4 women, inshallah. Jazakallah khair, Daniel. Do you need to fast to pay for a day that you mistakenly swallowed a little amount of food or water while fasting? Yes. If a person misses a fast, if it breaks their fast accidentally, then they have to make up that fast. Yeah, this is according to many of the scholars. You just make up that fast up, just make a record of how many fasts you've missed, and then you make up later on. No need to pay for it. Inshallah. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Okay, so alhamdulillah, I think that went well. If you have any more questions, a few more minutes, and then I'm going to, inshallah, log off. So if you've got any more questions, you can ask, inshallah. Otherwise, I've got a talk today, guys. Yeah, I don't know if I'm able to live stream it. I'll try to record it and upload it later. Because sometimes the thing is, when you go to a mosque, certain mosques, they don't have a good signal. So it's not nice having a video there and then keeps on breaking. So I might record it, might upload it later on. It's about the change in Ramadan, transformation in Ramadan. So inshallah, that's later on. And today I had a Jummah as well, so and I had a live stream for you guys as well. Okay, no more questions, guys. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm pronouncing your name right. Salimatu. Is it Salimatu? Jalo? Salimatu Jalo? I don't know, guys. Yeah, I don't know. My tajweed in pronouncing names is all messed up everywhere. Yeah. Okay, so someone asked the question, there is so much to study in Islam. Yes, there is a lot to study. How does one go about acquiring it all? Should I read tafsir of each Quran verse, read about philosophy? Good question. Right, any science out there, you have to start from the basics. Like if you want to become a doctor, you have to start from the basics. You have to go to school, you have to go to college. If you want to become an accountant, you got to go to school, college. If you want to become a lawyer, you got to start from the basics. So if you want to master Islam, and you want to understand it all, and you want to understand, you won't be able to understand every single thing in its lifetime to try and understand every single aspect, all the different sort of positions and interpretations and understandings. However, what you can do is understand what Islam is about, understand the message, understand, how we should live our lives. That you can understand that. So you need to start from the basics. Basics, start off with learning Arabic. Start off with learning, a bit of fiqh. Start with learning Aqidah. Start off with learning. And when you start doing this bit by bit, you start mastering Islam. I've actually done some videos on my YouTube channel. It's about, the Alamiya course. It's called the Alamiya course or something. I've done four videos on it. Right, so watch that. And I've broken it down of how people become alims or scholars. What at the moment, what kind of syllabus do they use to become like this? So you can kind of follow that kind of a syllabus, and inshallah one day, why not? You can become someone who becomes an expert in Islam. Okay, next, can a woman wear makeup outside of her house? Yes, a woman can wear makeup outside the house. However, it shouldn't be attracting other people. So it should be such amount that it wouldn't be something that's going to cause attraction for them. So if it is a lot of makeup and it is kind of, like you see people distorting their face, they look like one thing, they look like a frog, and then they go outside their house, they look like a princess. Yeah, you can't look like a frog. If you're going to look like a frog, you're going to look like a frog. Yeah, you can add a bit of extra makeup on just to kind of conceal, marks and things like that. But to put too much on to cause attraction, to make people look at you, that is something we don't want to do, because our intentions are being watched by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Same with men as well. We've got to be careful as well of trying to, present ourselves in a deceptive way. Yeah, we don't want to deceive people. We don't want to, our intentions destroy us. So yeah, they can wear, just to conceal areas of their face. Sometimes a woman might have a few marks on her face and she wears some foundation, or she wears a bit of lipstick, not like heavy lipstick. These small little things, inshallah. Okay. Jazakallah for answering questions. You're welcome. You're welcome. For you teaching me what I'm going to teach my grandmother. Okay. Alhamdulillah. 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 Yes, that how it's pronounced. Just thanks. Alhamdulillah. Much appreciated. Jazakallah. Okay. If someone paid fidya for previous missed months of fasting, then became well enough to fast, when will qada for them be necessary? Good question. If a person has been ill and the doctor said that this person can't fast, and they were giving fidya. Fidya is basically money that you give for each fast if you can't fast anymore. Now, let's say a person's been doing this, and now all of a sudden, alhamdulillah, Allah has cured them, and now they can fast again now, many years later. But they've given the money as well. So what do? So in this situation, you have to make up those fasts physically. And that money, what about that money? That money is going to be considered as charity. You gave in charity. Alhamdulillah, you get reward for that. But you have to make up your fasts again. I hope that answers that question. I hope that was the question you were asking, yeah? I hope that was the question. So, Jazakallah khair, guys. I'm going to stop there. I don't want to become too long. Yeah, you guys are going to get tired. I'm going to get tired as well. And the lights are on. Harun Saab is here as well. So, Jazakallah khair. Inshallah, maybe in the future I'll try to do another one of these. Let me know what do you guys think of this kind of video? The audio, the video. What kind of, maybe there might have been some problems in the streaming. Any problems, put it in the comments, because this is going to help me, it's going to help Brother Harun as well, inshallah, for future videos that we do, for myself or for others as well. It will help us as well. So, hope you guys benefit from that. And remember me, your du'as, remember Harun, your du'as as well, yeah? This is a miskeen, yeah, the miskeen Harun. He's waiting for your du'as, Brother Harun. And Harun's a real guy, okay? I don't call this light Harun, yeah? Harun is a real man. Just in case people think that I've called this lamppost Harun. Yeah, and I think I'm talking to myself. One brother saying internet speed needs improvement. Yeah. So inshallah we'll try to sort that out for next time, inshallah. Anything else? We're open to comments, guys. As long as you don't, cuss us. Yeah, we don't like cusses, but we like comments, inshallah. We like structured comments, inshallah. Was a bit out of sync. Yeah. So I don't know, maybe sound. Some of these things might be on their side as well. Yeah, some of these things might be on their side. Yeah. Okay. For sure, what you taught is good for me and my family, so I have to teach them after here. Inshallah, Brother Badru. Yeah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your fasts and may Allah accept your efforts. Alhamdulillah. Alright, Jazakallah khair. I'm signing off here. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.